So I have to ask, how much does Yamato's delivery service cost? And it's kind of funny because Yamato's been doing so much running throughout most of her appearances that it's just kind of like, yeah. Yamato in their natural state is just running. He hither and thither, forward and backward, always on the move. Meanwhile, we pick up with Marco and Izo who are flying over or away from the battle between Big Mom, Kid, and Law. So that's a whole thing. Meanwhile, with Drake, Yamato, and Apu, as it turns out, the one number, Fuga, who actually went following after Yamato, is apparently a friend of Yamato. Interestingly enough, also has the bottom legs of a horse. So that's a thing. But Apu is still desperately trying to get Yamato to his side, and Yamato's just like, dude, I am busy, I will talk to you later. Meanwhile, Brooke and Robin come falling from the top of wherever they were onto Fuga's hair. It's nice and fluffy like a sheep, and their fall is cushioned by it. But we see that they are being pursued by CP0. And as they're getting ready to do battle after they recover from their fall, they see the giant glob monster of fire following CP0. Yes, the Kazenbo is descending throughout Onigashima, lighting everything ablaze in its path, including the CP0 members. Kinda sucks to be them, but it provides enough of a distraction so that Yamato doesn't have to deal with it. But Yamato is also aware, okay, this thing is passing through all the floors and it's on fire. Oh my god, it's heading towards the armory. So that's a little bit of alarm. So Yamato enlists Fuga's help, so maybe Yamato is leader of the numbers after all is said and done, who knows? With Robin and Brooke just barely missing Yamato throughout all of that, and they decide to beat feet before CP0 catches up with them. However, CP0 ends up being a little bit preoccupied as Scratchman Apu has decided to start snapping pictures of them, because, CP0 present on Wano in Kaido's castle? Ooh, Big News Morgan will pay some big money for that. And he really just puts everything together in a heartbeat. The world government lost their arms dealer with Doflamingo, so they had to trade with Kaido directly, which really shows off the government getting their hands dirty. And the dude in the bowler hat from CP0 is just like, shut the fuck up, and just finger guns him right in the neck. Just takes Scratchman Apu down with a quickness. And Drake just barely manages to catch up and sees this going down, and he's kind of shocked. But then the CP0 member turns his attention to Drake, and he's just like, I know what you're about, Drake. I know you're a double agent. And so Drake, he's just like, okay, if you know my actual position, I need you to start explaining what you're doing here. And because, CP0's doing dirty government work, they're just like, yeah, we need you to be quiet. So he gets ready to take down Drake, only to be blasted by Apu's sound explosion gun, his boom attack. It literally just explodes the CP0 dude in the face. But these motherfuckers are durable. And when Drake is just like, how did you survive that? Apu's just like, armament hockey. So it's just like, so even if you don't clearly see armament hockey, to a certain degree it lessens wounds that should have otherwise been fatal in a lot of situations. Good to know. And so it's in this moment, since they now kind of have a common enemy in the fact that CP0 is going to gank them if they don't do anything, they decide to team up. Self-preservation. It brings everyone together. Just in time for the holidays, right? Meanwhile, outside the dome of Onigashima, and we could still see Momonosuke, at the bottom of Onigashima, just making clouds, and I guess he's trying to, incorporate them with Kaido's clouds? I think that's what he's doing. He's actually making some progress, so we'll see how that goes. But, just as always, Zoro's having a little teensy-eensy-weensy little bit of a problem with flying enemies. That one thing he always has to deal with is always a problem. Also, apparently, in his Pteranodon form, King can pull back on the crest of his head and fires out a blast of something? I don't know if he's firing off his actual head or what, because I feel like it's Air Force or something. So he cocks his head back like the hammer of a gun and just fires his head, and it's called Imperial Deep Pride Strike. And I'm just like, no, that's not how Pteranodons work. Or Petrodons. Sorry. Pteranodon's something else. A Petrodon. And Zoro describes it like it's being fired at by a laser beam. And, I mean, considering how many laser beams he's been fired at by, I'll take your word on it. And I swear to God, Oda in this friggin' joke of these guys being like, yes, in prehistoric times, these dinosaurs hunted their prey just like this. And it's just like, no, that's bullshit. You guys are uneducated fucks and I'm sick of your shit. And every time they say this, someone else is always like, oh, I had no idea. Like, no. Gravagar, Rosa spiders did not breathe fire. Triceratops could not spin their frills like helicopters. Brachiosauruses could not detach their necks and tails and basically form themselves into a snake, leaving behind the rest of their body like hunk of meat. And Petrodons could not use the crest of their heads like the hammer of a gun and fire off air bullets. That's not how dinosaurs work. At this point, the only ones who actually make sense as dinosaurs are Ulti and Page 1. And it feels like that's the only reason they were described as weak, because they actually follow the rules of nature. It's weird. Although, I love the fact that Zoro's just like, okay, so is the fire on the back of your head also a feature of Petrodons? He's like, it's not. Zoro's just shocked and like, okay, it's not? How do you work? So Zoro tries to go in with a black rope dragon twister, and King just blocks it all with his wings. Like, he withstands all of it. And even Kaido had a bit of a hard time with that attack. I don't know if it's just because Zoro's kind of feeling a little bit weak, or he's actually just having a really hard time because, ultimately that drug was supposed to completely mask all of his pain and fatigue. So he'd be fighting like he was brand new. So the fact that he hasn't managed to take this guy down yet, it's getting kind of dicey. King is no joke. And Zoro's just like, man, you dinosaur and dragon bastards soak up damage like nothing. But King says that apparently his abilities go beyond just soaking up damage. So this is a little bit more. So apparently something inherent to his race. And Zoro, I love the fact that Zoro is like, he's so backed up against the wall that he actually has to think about what he's doing. Because he's just like, okay, what is this guy? What's his deal? I've hit him a lot, yet he's not bleeding whatsoever. His wings move, so they're not just for decoration, but I mean, can he actually use them to fly? And that flame on his back is just ever burning. I thought it was part of his powers, but apparently they're not. Like, Zoro is really trying his damnedest to figure this out. It's like, is he a fishman? Does he have giant blood? Or is he just some race I've never heard of? No, it's the race you never heard of, Zoro. Sorry about that, bud. So I'm guessing that once King's mask is removed, we'll start getting towards the climax of their fight, as I guess Zoro will learn what King's race actually is. But Zoro, he's damn near starting to feel like he's about to lose this. And I'm just like, man, we've seen Zoro go through the ringer before and still come out on top. The thought that Zoro might actually lose in a fight, that's I don't know how to feel about all that. But then he starts hearing Chugga Chung Chung Sweet Sounds of Samisen off in the distance as Enma lights itself ablaze and starts sapping away at Zoro's haki. What is this sound? What has awoken Enma? Is it simply because Zoro has gotten ready to admit defeat? Or not admit defeat, but he feels that he might have to admit defeat. Meanwhile, in the treasure repository where Of course, Orochi is hoarding whatever he can get his grimy little mitts on. He hears the sounds of shamisen as well, coming from the next room. A room that's lit bright, as though all the chaos of the outside world wasn't happening. And as he peeks through, who should he see but Komurasaki, playing the shamisen. And remember, Orochi, last he saw her, she was still being cut down by Kiyoshiro, or Denjiro. Take your poison on what you want to call him. So he still thinks she should have been dead. But we know this is truly Kozuki Hiyori. And as she greets her lord, who she has always wanted to be by his side, Orochi's tears fall as he gets ready to embrace his beloved. Ooh, he gonna die. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that figure that we saw in the treasury room that was crying over the scabbards was more than likely Hiyori. I've heard some people say that, oh, this is another drawing by Kanjuro, but I'm like, no. No, it's Hiyori. Like, there's been setup. She has the bang things that we saw in that chapter that everybody mistook for Enner's earlobes or something. Like, what? Why would he even be in this story? He doesn't even go here. Like, no. It's just like I wanted, where Komurasaki / Hiyori will try to take down Orochi. She might not be able to. In comes Denjiro / Kyoshiro to deliver the finishing blow. Because, I mean, this... Look. Denjiro / Kyoshiro, I'll just call him Denjiro. This is a man who went raging in the woods for what was, I think, months on end, and had his face distorted by hate. Not to mention the way that the anime was building this dude up. Like, they were ready to spill the beans on who Kanjuro was. I mean, Kyoshiro was, like, from jump. We actually got spoiled by the anime on who his identity was, who Denjiro was, where he was, his involvement with the scabbards, everything. I'm like, no, they're building to something important with this guy. At least it feels that way to me. So I'm just like, Denjiro comes in, helps out Hiyori, who he's helped to raise for most of her life. Like, throughout most of her life, she has been with Denjiro. Specifically, they have a close bond. The same kind of bond that Momonosuke has with Kinemon, Hiyori has with Denjiro. Lesser extent Kawamatsu, but Denjiro was the one who found her and basically looked out for her. This is his time to help her take down the man responsible for everything, bringing Kaido to this land, the destruction of their land and people, not to mention she's longed to kill him. Like, no, Hiyori not being involved in any way at the Battle of Onigashima would be the biggest disservice Oda has ever done to a character. She doesn't have to beat anyone or even kill Orochi, but not having her here, I would be calling bullshit left, right, and center. And that's just my 2 cents. So tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel that this Hiyori / Komurasaki is a fake? Which, I'm sorry, I still can't believe that, because it feels like it nullifies everything. It feels like it nullifies Kanjuro's last act. Like, seriously. And we've already had a lot of moments like that, but that last one felt pretty final. And what is going on with Enma? Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it power raging beyond Zoro's control, and he's ending up in a very similar situation to Sanji, where it's power that he doesn't know how to control, that he's fearful of, and he kind of wins in a way that he's not really too proud of? It would be actually pretty interesting. And Zoro then wants to train and make this power of Enma his own. That would actually be pretty cool to me. But fire abilities, durability, wings, man, King's Race is something different. I still feel that it must have some relation to the Chandians and the Skypians and the Brickens, whatever. Something's got to be up with that. Also, Drake and Apu teaming up against CP0, I never would have called it in a million years. Never, never, never. I was so set on the idea that it would be Drake versus Apu. Like, it felt set in stone, because it's just like, I mean, with the way that Hawkins was dealt with, I'm just like, okay, now just got to deal with Drake. But having them need to step in and take on CP0 and basically sidelining what CP0 was originally trying to do, and that's go after Nico Robin. I don't know, that's kind of hilarious to me. And Yamato teaming up with one of the numbers, well, maybe, just maybe, Yamato will be able to get to where they need to go. Because, I mean, that flame monster is on the same level as Yamato. Like, what's Yamato's plan? Is Yamato going to use their ice abilities to freeze over all of the volatile weaponry? Will that be enough to stop all the destruction and a potential explosion? We'll just have to wait and see. And what of Brooke and Robin? Now that CP0 is distracted, what will they be up to? I mean, a lot of the Straw Hat crew is kind of not really doing too much at this point. So I'm still waiting to see what they do next. But tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.